Namaste, Soul Family Sky Goddess, and in this video, I'm going to talk about open enemies, okay, for all the 12 zodiacal frequencies. Alright, we've all got open enemies. Whether you want to admit it, yes or no, we all have open enemies. These are people who hate on us openly, of course. For some of the frequency signs, this is not so obvious, and therefore me sharing this information with you is a gift, okay, because some of you are oblivious to the fact that we're all human beings and we are all um, subjected to public scrutiny, hatred, just as love, and foes just as friends. And I'm just going to go through these 12 zodiacal frequencies. I'm going to begin with the earth signs, as usual, then the fire signs, water signs, and then air signs. Alright, with Taurus, okay? Also, I'm going to talk about why you are hated publicly, okay? So for Taurus, you are hated publicly because you balance your emotions. You always, or most of the time, seem to be composed and, having your shit aligned and your shit in order. All right, that's a prime characteristic of the bull, because you're all about prestige, and you really and truthfully value how you're perceived, your ego, how you project yourself. And so you get a lot of public hatred for this. A lot of people may say that you act like a goody two shoe, as though you're better than everyone else, which it's just you being able to balance your emotions that makes other people feel intimidated, especially if they have placements that makes them very weak, uh yielding to their emotions, and so they feel inferior towards you, because you seem to be more composed and more put together than they are. And trust me, people hate you for themselves as well. um Also, some of you Taurans, let me just say, um, you're publicly hated because of your spouse, the woman you marry, or the woman that you are engaged to marry, okay? You are hated, some of you are hated because of where you live, your house. For some of you, you're hated for your upbringing, the house you were grown in, the family setting that you were grown up in. People, your prestige, and so in some way, shape, or form, prestige surrounds you, and people envy not having that, especially when you have that which they wish they had. Okay. um some of you Taurans are hated because of the car that you drive. um just the feelings that you have about yourself. So you could, have, a very high self-esteem, which the bull does, which is why it's so confident and prestigious. And so people hate you because of that too. Okay? And funny enough, some of you people could also hate you because of your, weaknesses. That's so fucked up. I don't know. People hate people because of the weirdest reasons. You know? It's as though the hate gotta live on. Let the hate live on. I guess that's what it is. I guess, there's balance in the loving and the hating, So, Taurus, yeah. So your public enemies, they only hate you for these things. That fourth house frequency, that's all they hate you for. And not saying that's not much, but don't think it's anything more than that fourth house frequency, okay? Unless there are other aspects in your natal chart that overpowers this placement. And then again, you don't necessarily gotta have your seventh house in your fourth house, okay? So but for most of you, and based on my observations, that's what most Taurans are hated for. Their spouse, their bring-ins, their homes, their fiancés, being well composed. Yeah, it's sad that people hate you for, beautiful things, and not justified cruel, characteristics. Moving on to the frequency of Virgo, okay? Virgo, you're openly hated because you're sexy and alluring and attractive. You have sex appeal. That's your public persona, and you're hated because of that. Some of you, this is also because you're wealthy, okay? Whether you were grown into wealth, uh, uh, grown in a wealthy setting, or you came into wealth, but bitches hate you because of, that, you know, eight, eighth house frequency, uh, death and transformation, you, your public persona creates this frequency of, or I should say, exudes this frequency of death and transformation. And, and that is why you come off Virgo's sun as very mysterious, secretive like Scorpio, because Scorpio is your public persona. That's like a watery doppelganger, okay? So you're hated because you're sexy, you're attractive, you got the men staring, you got wealth, okay? Because you're also the Nine of Pentacles, okay? You, slim, attractive, but you're also an entrepreneur, a go-getter. You don't sit around and wait for others to, bring the inspiration. You seek the inspiration and you get things done, okay? And people, they envy that frequency of being able to get things done when you want to get them done, okay? Also, you're hated because you're faithful. You're hated, Virgo sun, because you're faithful. You are, in it for the long haul, and bitches don't like that. Let me just say that. And, a lot of these people who hate you, I'm gonna touch back on Taurus. I just remembered something. A lot of these, women who hate you, or men, a lot of them are hoes. Let me just say that. They are, strippers, prostitutes, um, bartenders, people who work in the sex industry, because you have that alluring personal public image, I should say, and it makes these people uh, intimidated, feel intimidated and inferior towards you, because it's like you're giving them a run for their money, as well as models, okay, because you are the model, okay. Yeah, so I did say, a lot of uh people from the sex industry, the industry that deals with, any industry that deals with desires and lust, sex, transformation and death, you're hated by them people, okay? You're giving them a run for their monies, okay? And, your public enemy also could definitely be, someone from one such industry, as well as a lover, a secret lover. And this could also be a secret admirer. So if you know of any secret admirers, and chances are because you're very introspective and you are very cerebral, and you think and you think about what you think, right? And therefore it's easy for you to tell when someone likes you or has a crush on you. But your public enemy could be someone who is strongly crushing on you. So this person could be talking shit about you in the public, okay? This could also, your public enemy, Virgo, could also be someone that you have had sex with, or you're having sex with. It's so fucked up, that public enemies, are people who are right before us, every day, day in, day out. Going back to Taurus, your public enemy is most likely someone in your family. So that house, that car, that fiance, that wife, yeah, that spouse, you're publicly hated by a family member for, one or all of them stuff. Okay, your public enemy, Taurus, is a family member. Or most likely your mother, that Cancer frequency. Okay? Um, and for Virgo, yeah, I already said a lover, admirer, prostitute, a hoe. Yeah, those are your enemies, public enemies, Virgos. Um, as well as this could be, an ex. Okay, so I guess all the guys you've left, excuse me, Virgos, they are still pissed that you left them, ninjas, okay? And so they are, talking shit about you in public. Expect that. You probably already know. You're Virgo. Capricorn, you're publicly hated by religious people. Let me just say that. And spiritualists, um, you're an earth sign, but you're not too caring about the environment. You're all about building structures, advancing, making money. And this could be to the detriment of the ecosystems around us. And no wonder you're, publicly hated by spiritualists and people who are, in deep connectivity with Gaia, the earth. Okay? And you're hated because of your belief system. Okay? You believe in your ego, which is to, okay, is to build. And it's not that Taurus build, it's that Capricorn setting concrete fixtures, kind of like remaking the world from dirt to cement. Okay? So, um, you strongly believe in yourself, and you are also wealth. And that's why religious people, they don't like you. Spiritual people, they don't like you because you believe in your ego, and that is vain to them. And your ego in itself is wealth. Okay? And what they say about wealth, that the love of money is the root of all evil. And so that's why you're hated, El Capitan. Okay? That's why you're hated, because of what you believe in. Okay? And who you are, who you project yourself as. That's what you believe in, and you're hated for that. Okay? So, some of your public enemies could be your doctor, your pastor, your bishop, your deacon, you know, your nurse, uh, hippies, you know, anyone who falls under that frequency, that, 12th house frequency, you know, they hate you, and they hate you because of what you believe in, okay? Because you don't believe in what they believe in, okay? Moving on to Aries, you are publicly hated by your siblings and the tabloids. Okay, you're publicly hated by your siblings. I know that fucking hurts. Or your sibling, okay? And you're hated because you chat too much for some of you. Alright? Some of you are publicly hated because you love to gossip. Okay? Um, yeah, that's what it is. You got hateful speech, hateful communication. And people ain't digging that. Okay? You seem really competitive. You love to copycat. Um, you love to gossip about people. Your siblings, they don't like that. Okay? People, they don't like that, Aries. So if you're wondering why people, they don't really like you or dig you that much, that's why. Okay, as well as, to be more specific, if any of y'all talking shit about an Aquarian, just stop. You're not gonna win, okay? If you talk shit about Aquarius, the frequency of Aquarius, it's gonna be seen as a gossiper and a hater. Okay? So don't do that. Don't do that. Leo, you're publicly hated because you're favored. I always knew this one. Leo, you're publicly hated because you got favor. Okay? As well as for some of you, because of your contracts, this could be music contracts, sports contracts, whatever kind of contract, marriage contract, this could just be, the fact that you are favored and that, people value your opinion. People value your presence and your essence. And you're publicly hated because of that. And also, a lot of this hate, believe it or not, comes from the public. Because people, they don't like when, you know, it's so sad. People, they want to feel blessed. They want to be blessed. But they don't want to be happy or to feel happy for someone else who, is blessed or is favored. And you got to want for others what you want for yourself. That's justice and balance. Okay? It's supposed to be a win-win for everyone, not just for you. But if it should be just one, Spirit's gonna choose that one who didn't made it all about competition. Okay? So Leos, you're publicly hated because of your propensity of being favored. You guys tend to be favored because the sun, the celestial bodies, them planetary bodies, they revolve around the sun, as though all hail the sun. It's all about the sun, because without the sun we have no food. Okay, we would all be growing molds, and mold can kill you. And not to mention the even more severe things that would happen without the sun. And so you got that favor because of, that essence, that connectivity to that great celestial body. And so you got favor from the universe. People hate you because of that. All right? And we know that majority of humanity is wicked as hell. Okay? They don't wish for others, what they, want for themselves. And that's why we're at the point that we're at right now. But also Leo, some of you could be hated by rappers, musicians, singers, songwriters. Okay, you are also the celebrity, and if you are a Leo sun and you are a celebrity, your public enemies are your coworkers. Let me just say that, as well as the justice system. Now the justice system, we know that don't like celebrities and vice versa. Okay, so be careful. Moving on to Sagittarius. You're, also a Leo. I just realized, a possible public enemy of yours could be your wife. So if you are a male Leo who is married, chances are your wife or your ex-wife is a public enemy of yours. Moving on to Sagittarius, you are publicly hated because for some of you, this could be because you're kind and generous and you're a humanitarian. And this could be hate coming from other humanitarians. You feel me? And as well as some of you, this could be because you may be knowledgeable. For some of you, you could be a scientist, and that's why people hate you. Um, For some of you, you could be enlightened, and that could be why people hate you. For some of you, it could be just because you're cold and, you could be a hateful person because not everyone belongs to that Sagittarius frequency. is generous, is caring, and is influenced strongly by that humanitarian frequency. Some of you guys are really motherfucking cruel and detached from the collective and evil as hell. Okay? Well, the other aspects would determine if you're that evil Sag or that generous Sag. But people hate you because if people hate you, if you're not a kind or nice motherfucker, be honest with yourself. This is definitely because you are a hateful bitch or a ninja, and that's why people hate you. You're detached, you're cold, you don't sympathize or empathize with anyone's feelings, okay? And that's why people hate you. And and if this is a hate, Sagittarius, let me tell you, if this is a hate because well, either way, you're hated by the mass. It sounds so fucked up, but you're hated publicly by a large group of people, as well as some of your enemies could be scientists, astrologers, astronomers, cosmologists, um, stars, other fellow humanitarians. Uh, yeah, and also you are publicly hated by some of your friends and associates. Okay, your friends and associates, the people you rub shoulders with, they publicly fucking hate you. Okay, moving on to Cancer. Also, wait, I'm gonna touch on Sag again. Some of you are publicly hated, by your fucking enemies. But like, we know enemies hate. That's what they do. But it varies for each and every one of you. So moving on to the frequency of Cancer, you are publicly hated by models. Fuck, is you on fleek? Okay, that's Cancer, Sun, Pisces, rising. You are publicly hated by um, models because you cute and you pretty. Okay, and you've got that. You are hated for what you are, basically. Okay, well, at least publicly. Okay. You're also hated for, your waistline. You've got a nice waistline, a sexy waistline, a sexy, physique and body. You're gifted with a beautiful body and you're hated publicly for that. Also, you are thoughtful, okay, and caring, and you're hated because of that. You see, I don't understand why people hate people for how they feel. You control how you feel. Do you or do you not control how you feel? If you want to be more thoughtful, what does it take for you to just get up one day and say, I'm gonna be a thoughtful bitch today and be a thoughtful bitch? Unless it is that you have no self-control, which is a very sad place to be. So moving back to Cancer, Sun, Pisces, rising. Okay, you are publicly hated. Okay, because listen, Pisces rising, their spirit, like I said, that's your essence. It's who you are. It doesn't matter how you want to project yourself, bitch. That's who you are. Your rising sign. And Pisces is, a frequency of idealism. Okay, it's the subconscious. And when your mind is there, you've got a very powerful mind. It's like, manifesting, projecting what's in your mind in the physical. And so these people, they know how to manifest the perfect physique that they desire or what is perfection to them. And no wonder, their public persona is that of perfection. Numero 6, numerology 6, Virgo, the hermit, okay? Which in itself is also perfection, as it and Pisces, they share a wavelength, okay? Water and earth, but they create a balance, a beautiful synchronicity. And they are both perfect in their own way. Pisces perfect in mind and subconscious and beliefs, right? And Virgo in deeds and routines, okay? but they are each other in a different element and for some different dimension. Okay, so Pisces rising, Cancer sun, right? You guys tend to be very ideal, ideal lovers, ideal people. And so to the public, you are perfect. And people hate you for who you are. Whether that took discipline, yes or no, they don't care. They hate you anyhow. Okay? And, the hatred could be coming from other, you know, similar people, people, are attractive as well. And so these people publicly hate you because it's a competition, like I said about Virgo. Okay? Um, some of you, could be publicly, hated by people you work with on a regular basis or people who work for you. Okay? Like helpers, if you got a helper, Cancer sun, if you got a helper, you're publicly hated by your helper. Let me just tell you that. Or an assistant, or a secretary, or if you work with models, then models hate your ass. Let me tell you that. As well as, the smart people, they hate you. Maybe you're too dreamy and alluring, and mysterious for their logics and, logical thinking. You're also hated by investigators because you perfect. You know how to create your own dream world to occupy your time. In which you don't gotta do a crime. Hell is this. And so them investigators, PIs, people trying to get you caught up, they hate you enough because you won't do anything, to get yourself in the muck. You feel me? So moving right along, to Scorpio. Okay, you are publicly hated because let me tell you, this varies for some of you. Of course, each of these frequencies have varying, aspects. But Scorpio sign, you are publicly hated because you're boss. You got money, you're a CEO. You got your own business, you're an entrepreneur. So if you're a Scorpio, if you're strongly influenced by Scorpio, you are publicly hated because you got money. You also got reputation, okay? You got record, okay? You got records. You got a reputation, okay? You come from reputation, okay? You've got old money or, somewhat old money. So you're hated publicly because of the family that you come from. You could also be hated publicly because of your father, okay? Some of you Scorpios are publicly hated because you are disciplined, okay? And you don't stand for bullshit, like Virgos, okay? Some of you Scorpios are publicly hated because of your addictions, whatever them addictions may be. It could be addictions about yourself. It could be your addiction to, your addiction to feeling sorry for your motherfucking self and whining all the time and being in your feelings. It could be your addictions to shopping and spending, overspending, being frivolous. People publicly don't like you because of that. You could be a drug addict. People publicly hate you because of that. Pick your choose. Okay? Um, Also, this hate could be coming from family members. Okay? Where you got the prestige and the reputation, that's where the hate comes from. So you're hated for your family or because of the family you come from. Your family, they're the fucking ones who hate you. Okay? It sounds fucked up, but, and it's not to say definitely, indefinitely, but it could be that you've got an addiction and you are hated by your family because you've got addictions or an addiction, okay? Or you could be hated by your family because you got Dell. You got your own company, okay? Moving on to Pisces. Also, you could be, you could come from, for Scorpio, from a very lazy family, worthless people, they call them. And you could be hated because you're very useful and, industrious, Them lazy motherfuckers hate you because of that. Okay? You could be, encouraging them to do more of their lives. They don't want to hear that shit. They just want to live and, let living be wasted. And so they hate you for being so disciplined. Okay, moving on to Pisces. You are publicly hated. Oh, also for Scorpio, some of this hate could be coming from folks at your workplace, okay? And, other CEOs, other entrepreneurs, other moguls, they, could also be your haters as well. Drug, drug peddlers. What do they call them again? Drug hustlers. What do they call them? Like drug lords. Okay, them people too could also be public enemies of yours. If you are wanting to have prone to having addictions, and living beyond your means, you could be publicly being hunted by drug lords, for money that you owe them for drugs that you're addicted to. Okay, so careful. Pisces, you are publicly hated. Let me just say, Pisces, you are publicly hated for some of you because of your prestige. You come from a prestigious family and upbringing, and you are of prestige, heritage, or status, and people hate you because of that. Pisces, you're also publicly hated because of your work, the work that you do. Some of you Pisces, Piscean, Scorpio risings, you are publicly hated because of your beauty. Some of you are publicly hated because of your possessions, what you have. Some of you, this could be, what you value. This could be that, you're knowledgeable and smart and well put together, and people, they hate you because of that. A lot of this hatred could be coming from people you work with, people from your same industry. Uh, could be a lot of competition, competitive energies. Just like, with Scorpio, a lot of hatred coming from their industry, a lot of open enemies there. Um, but going back to Pisces, you are also publicly hated because of your family. I already said that, I think. Some of you, this is also because of, it could be because of the school you went to, prestigious institutions that you were part of or affiliated with. You are publicly hated for that shit, okay? And a lot of this hatred, like I said, could be coming, from people, who attended these institutions with you, people from your family. This could be, from a grandparent, hatred coming from a grandparent. Oh, I'm getting mostly, this hate coming from, you know, people that you work with. And this could definitely, be, energies coming from a Taurus in particular. You know, something just came to mind. Something just came to mind, and that's why I had to pause a while ago. I wanna blow my nose. Okay. So, I just want to share this on here because I kind of want people to know what I'm going through and, why I had to pause a while ago. So, I was just looking at this placement a while ago. And, like I said, I don't premeditate my recordings. I just, might find myself alone a while and, be thinking, because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very business minded. I don't like idling or wasting time. I like for every second to count. And so I always give my thoughts over to, conscious thinking, and, what what next can I do to, improve upon myself. And, this came to mind, to make this video, to teach people about you know, their natal charts, teach them about themselves, to understand why people treat them certain way, and why they get certain, energy from certain people. It's really, astrologically based. Everything has an explanation. And this is so true. Because, getting over there to the Aquarius moon, uh, I have a child with a similar placement in this, in this arrangement, not saying he's not, Aquarius moon. Well, well, yeah. I realized me and my two sons, we, we are on a similar journey. And why I paused, because, I always prayed and wished, that the Great Spirit would make me, or would allow it, so that I would feel all the hate, all the suffering for me and them, so that they will never have to, experience, you know, certain energies. And I realize, not saying that they're Aquarius moon for the Pisces sun, it's a different placement. Not saying it's not Pisces sun either. I'm not gonna give away their placement, but I realize, they're publicly hated for the same reason that I'm publicly hated, and it's by the same people, family. People claim that they're family, that Taurus frequency. And I prayed for them, I covered them, I did my spell work for me and them. And, especially last year was a very trying time, coming over to this year. A very, 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 very harsh and trying time that I don't ever want to experience again. And I realized, the, the family that, we came from is such a cruel family, because it's so silly for people to hate people because they're beautiful, or they're attractive, or they speak a certain way. It's so cruel. It's just so cruel. You don't hate them because they're thieves, or you don't hate them because they're lazy, or you don't hate them because them ugly. Let me just be honest. Or you don't hate them because they're stupid. You hate them because they're beautiful and they're decent. What decent set of people hate people for being decent? And I realized me and my sons, we have, that similar lesson of having to experience being publicly hated because of that prestigious frequency, and one of beauty and value. Because we love and we value ourselves. And that's why I say, men have to be careful of the women who they knock up, because some of them not value themselves none at all. And they will never give birth to children who value themselves, because your energy passed through your womb and passed down to your children, whether you want to admit it, yes or no. So if you're a dumb, stupid hoe who don't like herself, you're gonna have dumb, stupid, whorish, monstrous children. And it is simple as that, because your soil don't good. And dirty, corrupt soil cannot fertilize beautiful seeds into beautiful, useful fruits. Because even if the seed is beautiful, dirty soil cannot fertilize that seed and sustain that seed to be made manifested into a beautiful tree and to bear beautiful fruits. Will never. Even if the seed is beautiful and clean. And that's what people don't fucking understand. And that's why it's really important to not look at woman because of the size of our tits, or the size of our ass, or the width of our hips, the texture here, color here, type here, style here. Okay, color eyes. Do you look woman because of that shit? Because truthfully, when you invest in a woman who have a beautiful mind, more beautiful than her, you can never find. A lot of men, all you just need to do, just invest in your woman, and you'll be surprised to see the beautiful garden of flowers she manifests into. But I realized that them and I, we have a similar life lesson because these people, they have been tormenting me and them, separated our family, broken our family, destroyed the marriage, destroyed the family, and now I realize they're trying to come back in because I don't know what happened. To tell you the honest truth, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the conscience, if it's a guilty conscience, or if it's just another sham to try to keep me below the bar, because you know, that's what their aim seemed to be from the get-go, to keep me and my family below the bar. And it's so sad that there's no justified reason for that but just jealousy. And that's why there's COVID-19 and there's so much more disaster to come. You guys just wait and see. You just stay tuned here because I will give you the update, because I've got more than VIP access and pass to what's gonna happen. So you guys just stay tuned because people too fucking wicked. I said this a lot about black people, and people may think I'm colorist or racist. I'm not, because I love being a black woman. I'm fly as hell, dope as hell, even if all the other, black bitches don't see that or believe that about themselves. I believe that about me because that's who I am to the core. I value myself to the core. It don't matter if I'm rich or I'm poor. I will always value myself. Other you cannot be, other than which you were made or meant to be. And that's in your natal chart. And if you got the placement where you have to love and value yourself, or when you're poor and if you live in the gutter or on the streets, which I've been there, you still gonna love yourself. Alright? Hold on, guys. Okay. People are cruel. Really cruel. But I pray for them. So family, pray for my two sons with me, yeah? You don't need to know their names. Just pray for Sky Goddess's, family. And by family I mean my two sons and I. Please pray for us. We need, protection most of all. While everybody will pray and cry for money, I want protection most of all. And you know, who do I want this protection against and from most of all? Humanity. Because humans are the most fierce, virulent, ferocious beings I've ever come across. And especially black people. And I'm not kidding you. It sounds really horrible to say that. But living here in Jamaica for 30 something years, I see, I see why Deuteronomy 28 says what it says, why black people are cursed by the Most High. Because black people, they, within a low vibrational, state, represent everything that the Most High is against. They can be very cruel and sadistic. You all can be very cruel and sadistic when you're ready. You're all out there crying for the white man to, value your lives when you don't even value your own lives. You don't even value your daughter's life. You don't value your sister's life. You don't value your sister-in-law's life. You don't value your auntie's life. You don't value um your ex-spouse's life. You don't value another black person's life, because black people life to is less than a Jamaican dollar. And you know, don't even, it's not even worth looking up how valuable one Jamaican dollar is. Just know that it don't worth anything. It cannot even buy you a sweetie here. So until you black people learn to love black and love yourself and stop pretend, because a lot of them on social media, even so-called intuitives, pretending that they care about black and they're Afrocentric, and they're not. Because if I look at some of them natal charts, it's so fucking obvious that they hate black. You hate black. You hate black. You don't like black. But you are what you hate. And you will continue become what you hate. Because it is to show us what there is balance. And we shouldn't really hate anything, you know. It is higher learning. I'm gonna call this period higher learning. It is getting upfront and close to with the aspect of ourselves that we don't fucking like. So if it is wealth, is wealth. If it's your ego, or if it's you being black, or if it's a baby or a child that you don't like, you're going to get baby and picking it till a fool. Okay? Or you're going to get black till black like midnight. Alright? And don't feel like you can pass on your hatred to somebody else. No, don't feel like you can do that shit. It's your natal chart. Your natal chart, yeah? It already set and predetermined where you gonna learn right now. Alright? And it's to, learn about that which you hate. And the only way to learn about that which you hate is to become that which you hate. Alright? So I tell you guys that it's gonna be a flip, especially beginning this year, when which people going to have new life lessons, because Saturn is in Aquarius, and all of you trying to hinder people from experiencing new lessons, you're gonna die in your old lesson, which is learning not to hinder people, right? So moving on to Gemini, you are publicly hated. Um, Also, for Pisces, some of you publicly hated by people in authority, because you come out very authoritative, to the public, and that probably make them feel intimidated and inferior towards you. So moving on to Gemini, you're publicly hated because you tell too much fucking lie, and I know that for sure for Gemini. I could have tell you without even looking in this thing. Gemini, you are publicly hated because you chat too much. And for some of you, I don't even have to say for some of you, because once you chat too much, you're gonna tell lies. Alright? It's quite as simple as that, okay? Just kind of like set up a camera system to, within your home, if that's where you mostly stay, and watch your fucking self, okay? Some of you know, very egotistical, talk about yourself too damn much, okay? And that make you come off very hateful to people. Um, some of you Geminis, you publicly hated by your children or your child, and this because you talk too much, and you use too much force when communicating with your children, right? You talk about yourself too much, or for some of you, you use too much force, right? You use too much force, and some of you, you know, um, yeah, and because it's like you being always so domineering, you seem so detached, as though you cannot relate with them, and your children, they're not feeling you because of that. You need to come back down to earth and kind of like see their side and can and develop a correlation. Some of you, you're publicly hated by your mistress. So Gemini son, if you got a mistress, your mistress is publicly hating on you. All right, and talking shit about you. This could be because you too much. They think you too much. You talk about yourself too much, and you just come off as hateful to them. Whatever it is you talk to, this mistress or your kids about. Also for some of you Geminis, you are publicly hated by black people. Gemini sons, black people don't like you. And this is so funny. I try to show people the correlation between hate and being and hating. And I feel that this is a perfect analogy because you're hated by the people. You're hated by you're hated for being who and what you are by the people who are the same as you are. So you're hated, publicly hated by black people because they're black. That don't make any fucking sense, but that's a fact. Alright, this could also be you being publicly hated because you're fat. Okay, if you're big boned and you wonder why people publicly don't like you because you're fat. Okay, some of you, this could be because you're a drama queen. You have too much drama. You're too much. You're too egoistic. And for some of you, you're publicly hated by celebrities. Okay, so if you're a Gemini Sun celebrity, you know that the stars don't like you. Or if you're a Gemini Sun paparazzi, you know that the celebrities, they don't like you. Okay, the celebrities don't like you. Black people probably don't like you. And you could be hated because you're fat and or black. Okay, as well as by your kids as well, because like I said, you have to be able to relate with children for them to relate with you or communicate with you, right? And if you all about your feelings and you don't really give two fucks about what anybody else think, because you're Mercury in Aries and it's all about you being in control, well, you come off as detached and cold and a heartless bitch or a ninja to them, and they don't want them to deal with you. And so you get public resistance from them because of that. Alright? Nobody likes to be bossed around or bullied. Moving on to Libra, you're publicly hated because, one, this could be because you're smart. Alright? Some of you, this could be because you're a foreigner. People don't like you. You come from a foreign place, they don't like you. Alright? This could be because you're knowledgeable about a certain topic, they don't like you because of that. Alright? Majority of the people who don't like you are, other teachers like yourself. Alright? Could be, other travelers, they don't like you when you're traveling publicly, you have a lot of hate from, people who are also traveling. Also teachers, if you're a soldier, you're hated by your squaddy them, they don't like you. Okay, Libra sun. um Also for some of you, um also Gemini rising, yeah, you're hated because you're a foreigner. Some of you, you are publicly hated, yeah, I said that, by foreigners because you're a foreigner. Some of you, you are publicly hated because of your understanding of things, how you see things, how you perceive things. Okay, so if you are a philosopher, yeah, you also hated by, you're hated by other philosophers. Okay, some of you, you are publicly hated because you're generous. Okay, if it is that you are generous, you're publicly hated because of that. All right, this could be, for some of you also, you're publicly hated because um you could come off cruel. Okay, that's also another aspect of that frequency. You could, display or exude a very cruel, so seemingly detached nature, right? And one that is selfish, and also one that is very, combative, competitive, and dramatic. You understand what I'm saying? And so people, they don't like you because of that. Okay, this could be people who watch you. So if you are on social media, the people who are watching you online, they don't fucking like you. They publicly hate you. All right. Moving on to Aquarius Sun. All right, liberalizing. You are publicly hated. Um, oh fuck, you publicly. Oh, okay. You are publicly hated by your manager. So wherever the fuck you work, the manager, they don't like you. If it is that you are married, your husband, he doesn't like you. You are publicly hated by your husband. Um, For some of you, if you are a mother, you recently had a baby, you pregnant, I'm sorry, but the baby publicly hates you. That sounds really horrible, but I'm just saying, it's that frequency, and I'm touching on everything that's under that frequency, right? Makes sense, because there's some people, their babies don't like them. It's really true. There's some people, the babies that they give birth to don't fucking like them. And look at this connection, because you fucking hate kids. Liberalizing Aquarius Sun, you hate kids, and because you hate kids, guess what? The the initiator of the child, which is the baby, publicly hate you. So it's like, I must say, for a woman, with displacement, um, getting pregnant is not ideal for you. Getting pregnant is not ideal for you. No. Because to say the baby hate you is not saying the baby just be like, damn, I wish this bitch would die, because that the baby would die inside of your tummy, right? But the hormones that the baby releases, and the energetic interaction between you and the baby is just not balanced. And so in a scenario like this, it would be like saying that, pregnancy don't look good on you, or it won't look good on you, because there's not a synchronicity or a balance in there between you and the baby. Okay, so mhm. So you are also publicly hated by yeah, basically anyone in a managerial position as well. They don't take a fancy to you. They publicly hate you. You see, something came to mind some time ago, and I was gonna write a poem about it, about the mutualistic relationship between the mother and the baby, and how that pans out, and usually you can tell when a woman loves being pregnant, when a woman loves being a nurturer, when she loves to be a mother, because you know pregnancy looks good on her, and even after she gives birth, the baby love the body, the baby receive the breast milk, and the baby's like the breast milk agrees with the baby, and it's like the baby reciprocate that, of you nurturing them and feeding them such scrumptious and delicious breast milk, with healing your body as a woman. They subconsciously do that frequency wise. It's frequencies, energies, waves, and currents, and flow. But a lot of women, they pretend like they love babies, because to them it's gonna seem so unnatural for them to be a woman and not love children. You know, and that goes to say that not every woman is a lady, not every woman is a mother, and we know that not every woman is a wife. All right, but it also goes for motherhood. Okay, not every woman is a mother. Um, not every woman has that nurturing essence or frequency or quality. Um, when you don't like being a mother is not gonna like you. It's not gonna look good on you. Okay, so a lot of times women would look at, women like me and other women and be like, how is it that you had two children and it looks like you didn't have any and you look like you're still a teenager? That's because I live a balanced life. I love myself. I go with the flow. I don't try to fight the flow because that's going to always create a struggle. And that's what, more than anything else makes you aged. Okay? So I try to, go with the flow, roll with the punches, change with the changes because that's how we learn and that's what we're all called to do. Right? And, here I am. I love my body and therefore I love every, creation that comes from it, which includes my children. And I love family. I love nurturing. I love caring for people. And so it wasn't like a duty or a responsibility for me. It was a fulfillment. It was like a dream come true. And so they blessed my body and they healed my body you know. And, I just want to give thanks for my sons, for that, for coming here without, destroying my temple. And, I have to give myself props for that and thank myself for, allowing myself to be in that frequency in which, I was ready for healing because I loved and accepted the experience. All right. So, with that, all of that being said, yeah, so I said Libra rising, hated by, okay, also by a group of black people, okay? So this is like, a group of black people. I don't know if you work with them, but they publicly hate you. This could also be your manager, like I said. This could be your baby, your toddler. Yeah. This could also be your husband, okay? But they hate you publicly. All right, so that's what I got for you guys. This video entitled, who are my public enemies? I'm gonna just call that. Who are my public enemies? All signs. Okay. Share this video with your friends so that they too can, get the gist, get the info, and who their public enemies are, so that, if it is a characteristic or a trait that, needs working on, that they need to change, then it can be done because we're all into, healing the human race and transcending to higher frequencies. I'm going to come back at you with, hidden enemies, who your hidden enemies are, and why you are, secretly hated. Okay. So this is really about your foes, okay, your open enemies, and I'm gonna come back at you with, hidden foes, your true and real enemies. Namaste.